Next level fried chicken, go Mexican. Nashville hot chicken sandwich, forget it. This Mexican fried chicken sandwich is bolder, crispier, loaded with smoky, spicy flavor from a birria chicken sauce on a cheesy chile poblano. This is my birria Mexican fried chicken sandwich. Let's be honest, Nashville hot fried chicken sandwich, it's good, but it's straight up heat. I think it needs flavor. And most fried chickens can be boring, which is why Nashville hot's good. And this birria is gooder. And why is it that restaurants have crispier fried chicken? What type of oil do they use? Why is it that they put it in buttermilk? These are all things that I'll be answering, so stay tuned for all that stuff. First, I'm gonna be starting off with the bird. A whole chicken is a great value. I got this whole thing for about $9. You wanna find yourself a knife that is probably like, I don't know, between 4 or 6 inches in length. This knife in particular, I've butchered probably over 50 to 100,000 chickens with this knife. So just goes to show, a knife like this can go a long way. I'm gonna be using a little smaller guy today just because I tend to like smaller knives when butchering birds now, a little more nimble. See, what I'm doing here is I'm removing these wingtips because these make excellent fat renders, or even for the stock right there. So those go on a little tray on the side. And then I usually always start with the thigh. I usually go in this thigh quarter. This back part right here, this is called the oyster. Everyone usually misses this when butchering their chickens. You don't want to miss that because that's a very delicious piece. Just a little snappy snap. Just work our way through the chicken. Usually when I'm going down the breast, I'll just work down the middle and then go all the way down the rib cage. The breast is fairly straightforward because you've got the rib cage as your guideline. See, this is how you know it was cleanly cut because you've got that little white cap right there. Then just do the same thing to the other side. This is what I'm using for my sandwich. Thighs, breasts, carcass and all just goes into an oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And look, have you ever had a Nashville hot chicken sandwich? Usually it is made with fat, bacon fat, pork fat. I thought, might as well do chicken fat, right? Chicken fat for a chicken sandwich makes a lot of sense. You don't have to do this. You could go ahead and use pork fat if you want, or maybe even like avocado oil. This is really great value if you're buying one bird. You're getting all of this value. Like this was $9, okay? Why buttermilk for a marinade and fried chicken? Or why is fried chicken best when marinated with buttermilk? Because it adds a nice acidity, which helps break down the protein, make the chicken more tender. And why do I add hot sauce? Well, because I think Valentina hot sauce is freaking delicious, and it's also going to add flavor to our chicken. This is for those people that say, hey, you don't season the chicken. Well, here you go. When working in restaurants, we used to do this for our Nashville hot chicken sandwich. And we also had a Nashville hot fried sweetbreads, which is like, I think the throat part of the bird or the cow. Anyways, these just get dropped in, thighs, breast, you wanna do legs, like whatever, put it in there. And then we're just gonna let this do its work. Okay, these are all gonna be in here for a little while. It doesn't need to be too long, but I generally do believe that doing this step makes the best fried chicken. I'm telling you, don't sleep on buttermilk. Does this need to sit overnight? No. We could do this for 30 minutes because it works quickly. Buttermilk works really fast. The other reason why I'm doing this is it's gonna cause it to stick to the dredge. So all we have to do is take this out, put it into our dredge, which is our flour mix, and fry it off. And it's gonna make for a way crispier fry on that chicken. Let me introduce you to what I like to call my chicken fry. All the spices get tossed in to achieve that shatteringly crispy crust on your fried chicken. To the flour, I usually add about ½ cup to 1 cup, or ½ cup to every 1 cup of flour of cornstarch. It could be regular cornstarch, or you could even do potato starch. Of course, season it a little bit, just like the ocean, and then we give it a little whiskey whisk action. Once that John's all mixed up, you can go ahead and put it in a container, seal it up, and you've got your crispy dust for whenever you need it. This should be good. Just keep it in a dark, dry place. I always had this on my station when I worked pantry, and I was frying a lot of things with chicken fry. We even had chicken fried corn, which was delicious. This is what it's all about right here. You remember that chicken carcass that I put in there? Look at all this beautiful chicken fat that is rendered off just this one bird. Now, this is a genius thought that I had earlier this week. Why not make a Nashville hot style chicken sandwich, but with the chicken fat? So that's exactly what I'm doing here. Just like a Nashville hot, we take the fat and we mix that with our spices. This isn't going to waste either, my friends. This is gonna go into a pot, and I'm gonna make a stock with it, and then I could just keep that in my freezer. Now, what if I took it a step further and made a birria hot chicken sandwich? I could toast off some chile guajillo and then reconstitute it in hot water until it gets super soft. So then I can blend it. These are my birria spices, whole and ground. Can all just go directly in there. My gosh, my friends, let me tell you, this smells absolutely unreal. I put the recipe up on the Discord before filming this, and I asked for people's advice, and there was someone on the Discord that said, and then someone on the Discord said, add some onion, add some garlic. So I did, and they're absolutely disgustingly right. This is amazing. I'm going to season it now with some salt and some citric acid to taste, just for a little pop, a little brightness. People ask me, why do you add citric acid to things? Well, that's what it's for. Things that you want like a little acidity to them. You could also do lemon juice if you don't have this. And there is a beautiful birria or Nashville hot birria chicken sauce. I mean, come on. That is absolutely unreal. I'm serious, this is so freaking delicious. Look at that luxurious looking sauce that's gonna go all over our chicken. You could put this on anything, to be honest. I'd put this on some potatoes. This looks so good, and it also tastes so good. I'm really happy with this color. That chile guajillo really sets it off, and I actually like this more than the Nashville hot, which is just straight up heat. This has flavor. I have a big block of queso Oaxaca. So I thought, chile poblano, queso Oaxaca, this is the perfect topper for the sandwich. We can take these chiles and then we can make them into like a cheesy chile patty to go on top. Just take off all that char, stuff it with the queso Oaxaca or mozzarella cheese, and then we've got ourselves a chile poblano patty to go on our perfect fried chicken birria sandwich. I always put it in the oven before so it could get like nice, melty, bubbly on the inside, and that's gonna be a topper that I think is better than slaw, to be honest. So yeah, that's what I got. You wanna know how to get the crispiest fried chicken? Well, here's how. You ever wonder how, KFC manages to get like that perfect fried chicken texture, and then when you make it at home, it's not quite the same? Well, you could have the best marinade on your chicken. You could even have this chicken fry, which I think is the best. But if you're not using the right technique for coating it, then it's just not going to live up to it. Most recipes you'll see will say, coat your chicken and then dust it off dry. That's it. But no, see how smooth that is? We don't want that. We want to get the chicken into the dredge, squeeze it. You're almost tearing that surface. And that's gonna cause extra surface area, nooks and crannies, as I like to call them. And then when you pull it out, look at that. It's no longer a smooth bird. Now we've got all these nooks and all these crannies for that fat to hide in. You're gonna have like all these beautiful little pockets. And that's, my friends, how KFC gets that beautiful fried chicken. What is the best oil to use for your fried chicken? Before we get into this wonderful frying scene. Did you guys hear that? That was kind of weird. Before we get into this wonderful frying scene, I want to tell you, it's not more so about the oil. Yes, peanut oil is great, rice oil is great, but it's more so about aging the oil. This is something that was taught to me by a big mentor of mine and huge chef. You might have heard of him, Chris Young. He made a little something called, I don't know, modernist cuisine. you may have heard of it before.
Anyways, I just did a video on the fanciest potato chip. It really got a lot of people mad. Of course, it's a fancy potato chip, but anyways, that's beyond the point. The oil, age your oil. If you want to learn more about aging your oil, I've got a video right here on how to age your oil, and it also gives you a pretty good recipe for like the best Michelin star potato chip. Anyways, on to frying. Now, whenever I'm frying chicken, I like to maintain a temperature of 320 degrees Fahrenheit. That's like the sweet spot where you don't burn the outside and you cook the inside fully. As you can also see, I don't have my pot filled with oil all the way, just because I don't want to risk that overflowing action. So try not to overcrowd your pan, try not to fill it with too much oil, and then you will avoid danger. We are not even halfway there, and look at how crispy this is already looking. Here's what I want you to do. Comment what I should Mexicanize next. And if you want a really good way to up your oil and your frying game, click this video right here.